All right, peeps. Short and sweet video for you guys today. Just a little quick content for you. So, one of the questions that you get a lot from guys today, big dilemma question from guys, is whether they should date a single mom. Should you date a single mom? Is a single mom a bad option? Now, look, first things first here. Uh, I think that you should always take into consideration what the connection between you and an individual is before you start to go, very firm on these kind of decisions. Look, be honest. Does anybody prefer to date a single mom? No, nobody prefers to date a single mom. Sorry, single moms watching this. I don't mean that in an offensive way, but it's important for your sake to also be realistic about it and know that your situation is not giving you points. It's not a preferable thing for almost any guy. Okay. Now, does that mean it's a deal breaker for every guy? No, it doesn't mean it's a deal breaker for every guy. And so, if you're a guy, here are some of the things that you want to take into consideration when it comes to dating a single mother. The first thing is considering how she became a single mother. What were the circumstances? And the reason for that is you want to understand a bit about what her baggage level is going to be, and correspondingly relationship history. What is it going to mean with that presumably other guy being in your life? Who is that other guy? What's the situation? When you are dating a single mother, you're not simply dating a single mother. You are also you're you know her child is going to be in your life. Um, I'm speaking obviously seriously here. We'll get to some other options in a second, shorter term options in a second. But we're talking seriously dating. You're going to eventually meet her child, and the ex is going to be in the picture. This is all drama you got to deal with. It's all things that you got to maybe not take care of, be a part of another child's life. A child that isn't yours. You have to play some degree of a fatherly role, most likely, and you don't know what her ex's life and what the drama is. So you first want to ascertain what that situation looks like. It's very important to figure that out, because if you have something like it was a very amicable divorce, they're on good terms, no real drama, then and the kid is relative, the good kid, etc. Comes from like a otherwise good background, then you're not going to be dealing with too much drama there. If she's a widow, for instance, in some ways that can be the ideal situation, if we're being honest here, because then you're not dealing with, sounds kind of dark to say it, but then you're not dealing with the guy in the picture. And although you have to also take into consideration to what extent she's emotionally ready to move on. So anyway, there's a lot of details there. So you got to ascertain this stuff. You got to figure out where she's at mentally. Now, here's the other thing. Where are you at in life? So we mentioned here that a single mom is, um, you know, it's a liability for her that she's had kids from another man. And that's just a fact. But, well, what's your situation in life as a man? Look, I am not somebody who's going to say that you guys should settle ever. And I do believe that men have a longer quote unquote shelf life in the dating market than women. If they take care of themselves, they can they can be quite attractive pulls in the dating market well into their 40s and 50s. But all that said, if you're a man in your 40s and 50s, you may, and you want to get a woman who's younger, it may be a worthwhile trade off for you to consider a woman who is maybe 30, If you're 40 years old, maybe it's going to be an easier sell on a 30-year-old woman if she has a child, or a 25-year-old woman if she has a child. Um, I'm not saying to do it, but I'm saying these are certain calculuses that you will want to take into consideration. Do you get are you able to get a very attractive woman, younger woman? That's what you want. If that's what you want, are you able to get that? But you have to deal with the fact that she has a kid. Is that a trade-off that you have to make? Because a woman who didn't have that baggage and liability might have already, yeah, you'll have maybe a steeper level of competition for her. So that's another consideration that you got to take in. But and then you got to take into stuff about what is she expecting from you? What is she expecting from you? And what kind of, drama is she going to be bringing to the table? It's kind of related to number one. Those are the main things that you're going to want to be looking for when it comes to a single mother. And of course, you have to look at your own values. For some guys, it's possible to do it. It doesn't matter if she's a beautiful girl. It doesn't matter if she's sweet. They're just not going to be okay with it. They can't stomach the idea of taking care of another person's child. And I get that. I understand it. I understand that. I found that the best people to date single moms are single dads because single moms, they have a lot on their plate because they got to take care of a kid by themselves, usually, or at least mostly. And it's a stressful situation for them. So that can mean that they will often put on more of a burden onto you, and they will demand more even as they offer less, so to speak. And that's a common thing with women in general who have baggage and who have issues. But some single mothers are really, like, they understand on a certain level their situation, and they're absolutely phenomenal to be with. So if you're not satisfied with this answer, it's because there isn't a black and white answer with it. The biggest thing I have to say about single mothers, the most important thing to understand about them, is that they require substantially more screening and qualifying than non-single mothers. And you also need to come to terms with what you expect, what is going to be rather expected of you over the years, because there will be expectations if you want to get serious with it. Now, as far as short-term fling, single mothers can be great. Single mothers are either only looking for no strings attached, casual sex, or they are looking for something really serious. But what's interesting is that they're often looking for both at the same time, but they're very fast to have sex. And, maybe that's partly why they got in a problem to begin with. At any rate, um, the big takeaway here is you need to do this additional screening. And look, I'm going to make one last point. A single mother who is divorced in 35 or 40 is not really a huge red flag, not even necessarily compared to a single woman in that age bracket, because there's a certain expectation that a woman at a certain age, right? There's a certain expectation that a woman at a certain age is going to have kids. So it's not even necessarily a huge red. You might look into, okay, was she divorced or something? What happened there? But understand that there's a big difference between the age as well. If a girl is 20 and a single mom, she's maybe made some bad decisions. So does that, again, look at it holistically, know the costs and benefits, know the risks. The biggest thing you have to do is screen more carefully. Do I think you should write them off automatically, though? No, I don't. I don't. And I can tell you that because while I've seen a lot of miserable, demanding single mothers, I've also seen some really wonderful ones who, when the guys married them, they've had a really, really happy relationships, had a really, really good time together. So more to look at, perhaps higher stakes, perhaps, but not automatic no. That's my take on it. A lot of context as always. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Appreciate it.